There are a few more newsletter parts that I want to go over, so let's just get right down to it. This is a student-made project, very similar to what we're going to be doing. And the first part I'm going to direct your attention to is the footer. So the footer goes at the bottom of every page in the newsletter. In the center, we have simply what the name of the newsletter is, and on the right, maybe a website that goes along with it. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll have a website on the right. On the left goes the page number. But wait, there is no page number on the left. Well, it is customary to not include the page number on the very first page, but on every page thereafter, it is there. So if I scroll down to the bottom of the second page, I see that the 2 is there, and then the rest of it is the same. We go to the bottom of the third page, and the footer is, of course, the same, only it's the number 3. So here's how this is going to work. We'll be looking at this in a moment. But for now, let's get that footer on there. If we go to Insert, and we go to Footer, that takes us to the master page. So the master page, or anything on the master page, appears on each page of your project, and the footer also appears on each page of your project. Therefore, it's fitting that it goes on the master page. Anyway, how can we get the page number there? Well, if we type in a 1 or a 2 or a 3, then that number will appear on each page. And we obviously don't want that. What we want to do is go up to this new master page tab that is there. And we can go to Insert Page Number. And what that does is that it puts a # or hashtag symbol where the page number is going to go on each page. So yeah, you don't want to actually type a number, you want to click that button. Now there is something else I wanted to do. Yes. Another way of doing that is to go up to Insert in Page Number. In fact, you're going to have to go to this button anyway to uncheck this, so you might as well just go here to begin with and check off bottom left. But either way is fine. You can just do it on the master page tab first. But even after you do that, you have to go to Insert Page Number and then uncheck this box that says Show Number on First Page, or Show Page Number on First Page. Now that's unchecked, it will appear at the bottom of every page except the first. And then in the middle, I just pressed Tab to go to the middle. You can type in the title of the newsletter and then website. Okay, so let's get out of this by going to the master page tab and going to close master page. And since I'm on the first page, we do not see the number there. I'm just going to right click and go to Insert Page. And now we can see that the page number is appearing on page 2. I know I'm using the word page a lot, but it's kind of unavoidable. I do apologize for that. But anyway, that is how the footer is going to be incorporated into our newsletter. So again, we have to go to Insert and Footer. That takes us right down to this section. And then we can either click this button, Insert Page Number, or go to Insert Page Number, bottom left, because that's where it should go. And then uncheck this option. And that's it for the footer. Now let's take a look at the table of contents. I'm actually going to show this example because it does it the way that we're going to do it. So the table of contents lists the page that each article begins on. Only the article that begins on. So you will actually have 3 probably movie reviews that begin on page 1. And that's fine. Okay, we don't worry about when it ends. So if 3 begin page 1, a couple on 2, and this one begins on page 4, but we're not going to have 4 pages in ours, but you get the idea. However, do you notice how each title has a series of dots afterwards that lead to the page number? You've probably seen that in other places, like table of contents in books, for example. Each one ends at precisely the same spot. Isn't that interesting? These dots are actually called leaders. they lead you from the title of an article to the page number it begins on. We're going to set this up in a way in which the leaders actually do end at precisely the same spot. Instead of holding down the period button and trying to guess exactly where it goes, if you look at this example, that's what this person did. It still looks good. I mean, it still looks fine overall, but they didn't implement the leaders properly. See how the page number 2 kind of goes over to the right here, whereas on this one, it's perfectly aligned. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I just want to go into Publisher here. We have to do it in a very specific way. So I'll just insert a new text box. Insert, draw a text box. I'm going to type table of contents first. Increase the size. Make sure I actually spell it correctly. And I'm only going to type in the title of my first movie. Just the first. So let's just say it's The Lion King. Now, take a look at this ruler up above. Notice how it's white only above where the text box is? I want to double click somewhere near the end of this ruler, somewhere near the right end. Just double click. That puts a little L there and brings up this box. The only thing you have to do here is click the circle that says dot in it. Notice how the section says leader? This indicates that we are going to use a series of dots each time we press the tab button. So it says tab stop position. So every time we press tab, it's going to go this far out, wherever you clicked. And a series of dots will appear between the area where you were clicked and the area that you tabbed over to. It'll make more sense once you see this. Click OK. And now I'm going to press tab. There, you got to see it in action. Now I can go ahead and type the rest of my table of contents. I know I have great taste in movies. And you can just continue on from there. So you'll probably have 3 movies that begin on page 1. That's fine, because that's just the way it's going to be. And just continue typing the names of your movies. And we'll just say The Breakfast Club 1. So the next movie will begin on page 2. We'll just say Iron Man and then 2 for page 2. And notice how the leaders all end at the same spot. Then I can go ahead and center the table of contents title. If I wanted to, I can make it really stylish by filling it with yellow. Then I can just go crazy if I want to. I can make it, I can increase the weight. And notice how I'm going to the same button every time, shape outline. I can give it some dashes. That's pretty cool. I can move it how I want to. And that's the table of contents in a newsletter. And that also covers leaders as well. The next thing I want to talk about is justifying. And that is found among the alignment options in Publisher. And it's also true of Microsoft Word. But we're just looking at Publisher. Now, it's a text option, so we can find our text options underneath the Home tab. This is just a paragraph or sentences I'm going to demonstrate on, or text box. The alignment options are right here under the Home tab and then in the paragraph group. By default, everything is always aligned to the left, and the description says align your content to the left, of course. Then we have center, and I'll click right aligned, which we don't really use that often, but it's still there. But this one looks a lot different than the others. It says, justify, distribute your text evenly between the margins. Justify text gives your document clean, crisp edges so it looks more polished. Alright, I'm glad I can still read. So if I click that, what actually happens? I will left align it, then I'll justify it again. See how it moves things as far to the right or as far to the end of the text box as it can? That's what it does. The program does its best to get each line to end as far to the side of the page as it can. It gets each line to end at the same spot. So it creates a little bit more space here and there between certain words to make that happen. It might skip a lot more space than this, depending on how long the sentence is and what it needs to do to get it there. But that's really it. So here's the normal amount of space skipped between letters, and now here's a little bit more. So yeah, I'm just going to ask that your body paragraphs, your actual reviews, are justified. One little thing right here, though, is we see the word newsletter is broken up into 2 lines. I did not do that intentionally. I typed the word newsletter as one word. This is an example of hyphenation. Hyphenation is when one letter is broken up into 2 lines. We do not want that. It just kind of looks sloppy and unprofessional. And we're all professional designers here, so we're going to get rid of that. The only thing you have to do to get rid of it is to just click inside somewhere. Click inside the box somewhere. Go to the Text Box Tools Format tab and look for the hyphenation button. Click that, and this box will be checked. Automatically hyphenate this story. Uncheck it, and the story just refers to like a newsletter story or a news article. Click OK, and now the word newsletter is no longer hyphenated. And that's it. Just be sure to do that in each of your text boxes, particularly for the body paragraphs, the reviews themselves. So you go to the Text Box Tools Format tab and just go to the hyphenation button. If you don't see the hyphenation button there, just try clicking the Other Format tab, because sometimes there are 2. It just depends on what it is you're dealing with. And finally, picture captions. What are captions? They are simple phrases that describe a picture. They describe what's going on, or they could just state the names of the actors or actresses shown in the picture. It's really up to you. I'm going to put in a picture to demonstrate on. So I'll just search online for something. I'll type in the first thing that comes to my mind, which is forest. I'll choose that one. And here it is. So how do I insert a caption? Well, I didn't mean to use the word insert because I feel like that could be misleading because we're not inserting another object. We're going to go to the Picture Tools Format tab and look for the caption button. So there is a caption button somewhere here, and it's right here in the middle. This will determine where your caption goes. So it can go below it, it can go above, or to the sides. You can make it like darker if you want to, or I kind of like something I like this. This is fine. Then you can just type a phrase or something that goes along with what it is you're looking at. A bright, sunny morning. And if I wanted to, I could center it and increase the size. Do all the kinds of text-based things I can do in a regular text box. I can even change the font if I want to. Comic Sans, perfect. Be careful about making the picture too small because then you might have to readjust the size of the text, which is fine. Just be aware of that. Then you can put it wherever you like. Now, these newsletter examples did not have captions in their pictures, but that's just one difference between these and yours. And those are the additional parts of the newsletter project that we're going to incorporate. All of these aspects are found in actual newsletters, and this project just involves us creating a design implementing all those different elements. I'll see you soon.